එදිනෙදා ඔබේ මුළු සිරුරටම රැකවරණයක්. සුදේශී කොඹ සබන්.
ලෙන්ගතුකම වැඩි කරගන්න ලව්ජු රුපියල් 50 අඩු කළා.
මාමේ එන්න අපිට එකක් බොමු.
Tonight, imported infections. More Middle East returnees continue to test positive. Learning from mistakes. Public behaviour improves after yesterday's poor social distancing. People's franchise in jeopardy. Supreme Court hears that Election Commission members are in cahoots with petitioners. Divorce proceedings. UNP decides to suspend 102 of its members. All that and much more coming up on First at 9. This Wednesday, the 27th of May 2020.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9.
හැටනමයි 97ට SMS කර රුපියල් මිලියන 3ක මුල්තැන්ගේ උපකරණ දිනාගෙන අවුරුද්දෙම කුස්සිය ටයිම් සේව් කරගන්න.
Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Dhamke tonight. Let's start with the local stories. Many recent foreign arrivals, especially from the Middle East, have tested positive for COVID-19 while contributing to the surge in Sri Lanka's virus cases. 81 fresh imported cases have been reported so far today. This, however, is by no means a reflection on the government's efforts to combat COVID-19, as authorities confirmed that the group of the repatriated had already contracted the virus before landing in the island. What's more, no cases of community transmissions have been confirmed in the island for the last 27 days. Now, in the meantime, without being deterred by high virus infections among the repatriated, the government ensured that over 200 Sri Lankans were flown back to the island from Qatar today.
Sri Lanka's total number of COVID-19 cases shot up in recent days, with a figure currently at 1,372. The country reported its highest number of daily infections yesterday, with 137 cases being confirmed. But that does not tell the full story. A considerable number of people repatriated recently, especially from the Middle East, have been the chief factor in the surge in numbers. From yesterday's 137 cases, 127 are Kuwait returnees and the rest are naval personnel. Another crucial reality is that there haven't been a single case of community transmission in Sri Lanka over the past 27 days. 466 people have so far been repatriated from Kuwait, and from them 197 individuals have tested positive for COVID-19.
මැද පෙරදිග රටවල් වල මේ COVID-19 ආසාදනය බහුල ලෙස පැතිරී ගියා. කුවේට් ඉඳලා පැමිණි අය ඒ රටේදී Tamanගේ රැකියාව පවා අහිමි වෙලා ඒක රාශී වෙලා හිටපු කණ්ඩායමක්. ඉතින් ඒ අය අතරේ රෝගය බොහෝසෙයින් පැතිර ගොස් තිබුණා. ඒ අය මෙහි එන විටත් ආසාදිත තත්ත්වයේ පසු වුණා. ඒ කොහොම වුණත් ඉදිරි කාලයේදීත් අපි මේ අය ගෙන්වීමේදී කිසියම් කාල පරාසයකට අනුව පෙර සූදානමකින් පසුව මේ අය ගෙන්වීමට කටයුතු කරනවා.
What's more, with 20 more people heading home today after recovering from the virus, Sri Lanka's total recoveries rose to 732. That reduces the country's active cases to 630, and it would have been far less had it not been for the late surge in imported COVID-19 cases. When scrutinizing on the Navy cluster, it has been 35 days since the first sailor tested positive for the coronavirus. The identification of 63 fresh infections among naval personnel increased the total number of infected Navy personnel to 691. From that figure, 344 sailors have recovered from the virus so far, as 12 more naval personnel were discharged from hospital today. In the meantime, a Sri Lankan Airlines charter flight carrying 268 Sri Lankans from Qatar arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport early this morning. It is part of the government's repatriation program worked off to bring back Sri Lankans stranded overseas. All those who arrived in the country today were directed to quarantine after being subjected to disinfection. Meanwhile, 76 persons who were quarantined after returning from India headed home today after completing their quarantine process at the Rajagiri Ayurvedic Hospital. The group included 19 women who travelled to India for artificial insemination treatment and had been stranded during the COVID-19 pandemic. On another development, more daily PCR tests are being carried out on persons who are at risk of contracting the virus due to their exposure to possible COVID-19 carriers. Accordingly, biosamples were obtained from randomly selected residents of Slave Island.
කොරෝනා වෛරසය පැතිරීම වළක්වන්න සබන් යොදා දෑත් සෝදන්න.
Now, there was a marked improvement in the people's behaviour today after the curfew lift this morning. After congested crowds were seen jostling for position in order to get on buses yesterday, a much subdued and civilised behaviour was witnessed throughout the day. In the meantime, the Department of Motor Traffic released hotlines enabling members of the public to make prior appointments over the range of services they provide. The island-wide curfew was once more lifted at 4 this morning and people returned to day-to-day activities. Public transportation was worked off today as well, providing transport facilities to commuters. Our correspondents, however, said that the number of people using public transport was less. The Sri Lanka Transport Board meanwhile said that sufficient buses have been deployed to provide transportation to commuters.
දිරේදී අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා බස් රථ කෙලින්ම කොළඹට ධාවනය කරන්නත් කොළඹ සිට අනෙක් ප්‍රදේශවලට ධාවනය කිරීමත් ආරම්භ කරන්න සෞඛ්‍ය අංශවල සමග සාකච්ඡා කරලා මේ තියෙන තත්ත්වය ප්‍රායෝගික නැහැ.
Unlike yesterday, there was a marked improvement in people adhering to health protocols, especially social distancing. After commuters from Ambalangoda were inconvenienced yesterday owing to a delayed train, the Department of Railways deployed an office train from Galle to Colombo.
හෙට දින අප නුවර සිට බදුල්ල දක්වාත් බදුල්ල සිට නුවර දක්වාත් නව දුම්රියක් ආරම්භ කරනවා සාමාන්‍ය මගී ජනතාව වෙනුවෙන්. එම දුම්රිය ගමන් කිරීම සඳහා අනන්‍යතාවය සාහිතික කර ලියාපදිංචි වීමෙන් අමතරව නියමිත සෞඛ්‍ය ආරක්ෂණ ක්‍රමවේදයන් අනුගමනය කිරීමෙන් පසු අදාළ දුම්රිය භාවිතා කරන ලෙස මහ ජනතාවගෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
Safety protocols were also at the forefront of the minds of institutional management as various entities gave prominence to them. In the meantime, a special meeting pertaining to the future activities of the apparel sector was worked off at the premises of the Board of Investment under the patronage of Minister of Tourism Development, Investment Promotion and Civil Aviation, Prasanna Ranatunga.
අද වෙනකොට අපි සන්තෝෂ වෙනවා මේ වෙනකොට ෆැක්ටරිස් වලින් සෝන්ස් වල තියෙන ඒවායි 95කට වැඩිය විවෘත කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම සේවකින්ගෙන් 62කට 65කට වැඩිය රැකියාවලට වාර්තා කරලා තියෙනවා.
In the meantime, the Department of Motor Traffic requested from the public to make prior appointments when obtaining its services by contacting various designated telephone numbers.
විභාග සඳහා මේ වන විටත් දින ලබාගෙන තිබුච්ච අයදුම් කරුවන්ට නව දින හා වෙලාවන් ලබා ගන්න 0.7.63.54.122 කියන නම්බරයත් ප්‍රායෝගික පරීක්ෂණ සඳහා දින ලබා තිබූ අයදුම් කරුවන්ට ඒ සඳහා නව දින ලබා ගැනීමට 0.7.63.54.123 කියන අංකයත් නව රියදුරු බලපත්‍ර ලබා ගැනීම රියදුරු බලපත්‍ර අලුත් කිරීම සංශෝධනය කිරීම හෝ රියදුරු බලපත්‍ර සම්බන්ධ වෙනත් කටයුතු වලට 0.7.54.124 කියන අංකයත් වාහන බර සහතික හා වාහන පරීක්ෂා කිරීම වලට අනුව 0.7.63.54.125 කියන අංකයත් විමසීම් කටයුතු සඳහා 0.7.63.54.121 කියන අංකයත් අපි ලබලා දීලා තියෙනවා.
Meanwhile, 160 people left the country for employment yesterday from the Mahinda Rajapaksa International Airport in Mattala to Seoul in South Korea. This is the first flight to leave for Seoul from the Mahinda Rajapaksa International Airport. In the meantime, special operations to crack down on curfew violators will continue. The police apprehended 411 people and seized 81 vehicles between 10 p.m. yesterday and 4 a.m. today. Since the 20th of March, when the curfew first came into being, 66,341 people have been arrested for violating curfew. Furthermore, 18,695 vehicles were also seized. The final rites of popular politician in the Hill Country and an idol of estate workers. Late leader of the Ceylon Workers' Congress, Aarumugam Thunderman, will be worked off on the 31st of this month. He passed away yesterday at the age of 55 following cardiac arrest. Aarumugam was also the Minister of Community Empowerment and Estate Infrastructure at the time of his demise.
Born on the 29th of May in 1964, Aarumugam Thunderman is a grandchild of a household name in hill country politics, Soumyamurthy Thunderman. Aarumugam Thunderman becomes leader of the Ceylon Workers' Congress in 1999 following the death of Soumyamurthy Thunderman. Aarumugam was first elected to Parliament in 1994 and since then he was a continuous presence in Parliament across 26 years, being elected from the Nuwara districts. He held various ministerial portfolios during his political career and at the time of his passing, Aarumugam was the Minister of Community Empowerment and Estate Infrastructure. A father of three, Aarumugam Thunderman is an old boy of the Royal College, Colombo. He was admitted to the Thalangama hospital last evening with cardiac arrest and hospital sources said he had already perished by the time he was admitted. With the news breaking of Aarumugam's demise, various politicians including Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa arrived at the Thalangama hospital.
පාමාර 6 වෙනකන් මාත් එක්ක හිටියේ. ඉඳලා තමයි ඕකේ බලාපොරොත්තු තිබුණා සේවකීන්ට රුපියල් 10 ලබා දීමේ කතාව හෙට අපි තීන්දුව කරා ඒ පිළිබඳව ජනාධිපතිතුමත් එක්ක කතා කරන්න. ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි අනිත් පැත්තෙන් කම්කරුවන්ගේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් පිළිබඳව වතු කරේ කතා කරන්න දිනේෂ් ගුණවර්ධන ඇමතිතුමත් එක්ක අපි හෙට කැබිනට් එකේදී කතා කරමු කියලා අපි සාකච්ඡා කරා. අවිල්ලා. ඉතින් ඒ සාකච්ඡාවෙන් පස්සේ තමයි ගෙදරින් පිට වුණේ. ඉතින් ඌ අවසානයේදත් කතා කරේ වතු කරේ කම්කරුවන්ගේ ප්‍රශ්නය පිළිබඳව. ඉතින් ඒකින්දා මම හිතනවා තාම ජනතාවට ආදරය කරපු මිනිස්සෙක්. හිත හොඳ හැම වෙලාවස්තාවකින් අවංක දේශපාලන නායකයෙක් තමයි අපිට නැති වුණේ.
Meanwhile, CWC supporters and estate workers flocked to the party headquarters in Kotagala as the news of Aarumugam Thunderman reached the people. Owing to his death, estate workers did not report to work today and white flags were hoisted along their line houses and roads. Aarumugam Thunderman's remains was taken to a private funeral house in Burala last night and they were taken to his residence in Kumbugahaduwa of Battaramulla this morning. Among the multitude of politicians and people who paid their last respects to the late CWC leader was Indian High Commissioner Gopal Bagle. The funeral committee said that remains of the late politician will be laid at the parliamentary complex tomorrow morning for several hours under state honours before being taken to the CWC headquarters located along the Malvatta Road in Colombo 3. On the 29th, late Aarumugam Thunderman's remains will be taken to his residence in Rambuda of Kotmale and on the 30th, they will be laid at the CWC headquarters in Kotagala for public respects. The final rites of the late minister will be performed on the 31st of May at the Norwood grounds in Hatton.
Now in other stories, President's Counsel Manohara De Silva today made submissions before the Supreme Court saying that the Election Commission is in league with the petitioners to postpone the general election. The Supreme Court heard this when the fundamental rights petitions filed challenging the President's Gazette notification dissolving the Parliament were called for the 7th day.
The Supreme Court today considered the fundamental rights petitions filed challenging the President's Gazette notification dissolving Parliament for the 7th day. Additional Solicitor General Indika Demuni De Silva, representing the Attorney General, concluded making submissions this morning, and next it was the turn of attorneys representing the intervening petitioners. Making submissions on behalf of an intervening petition, President's Counsel Manohara De Silva stated that the petitioners have argued that the President should invalidate his Gazette notification as the date for the election declared in it has now passed. He says if one argues that the President possesses the power to invalidate the Gazette issue declaring the date of the election, the President will also be able to invalidate a Gazette notification dissolving Parliament, in a backdrop where the Parliament is automatically dissolved after its 5-year term if President feels to be at a disadvantage prior to the election. The President's Counsel stressed that according to the Constitution, no need arises for the President to cancel his Gazette notification, and interpretations as such can bring detrimental results. The President's Counsel stated that in terms of subsection 2 of Article 33 and subsection 1 of Article 70 of the Constitution, the President possessed the power to summon Parliament at a different date without invalidating his previous Gazette notification issued on the 2nd of March. Criticizing the actions of the Election Commission, the President's Counsel said when viewing the Commission's proceedings, they appeared to be cooperating with the petitioners in favour of postponing the election. President's Counsel Manohara De Silva added that even if the general election should ideally be held before 5 to 7 weeks elapsing after the acceptance of nominations, 3 attorneys representing the commissioners appeared in court and said it would take 60 to 90 days for the election to be held, despite the go-ahead already being given by health authorities to hold the election. The President's Counsel stated that when considering the submissions made by the attorneys who appeared on behalf of the Election Commission, the Commission appears to be malfunctioning. Pointing out the contradiction in possible dates to hold the election submitted by attorneys representing the members of the Election Commission, President's Counsel De Silva said they are deliberate efforts to contribute towards the goal of the petitioners.
We will see you shortly after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, Colombo Chief Magistrates Court today decided to transfer former Minister Rajitha Senarathna's bail application to another court. Colombo Chief Magistrate Lanka Jayaratne took the decision considering a request made by the Attorney General. When the case was taken up before Colombo Additional Magistrate Priyantha Liyanage after it was transferred to him, Senarathna was further remanded until the 10th of next month.
When the case pertaining to the controversial white man media briefing was taken up today, defendant Rajitha Senarathna was not present at the court, and President's Counsel Anil Silva submitted the bail application on Senarathna's behalf. Representing the plaintiff, Deputy Solicitor General Dilip Pires requested the court that the relevant bail application be reviewed under a different judge, considering the situations that arose regarding Senarathna's case in the past. Stating that the defence has no objection towards taking up the bail application under any justice, President's Counsel Anil Silva said that he is disappointed by the Attorney General's request and surprised that the Attorney General was following a stand generally not followed in other cases. Responding to this statement, Deputy Solicitor General submitted that he is making this request so that the bail application would be considered before an independent judge. Thereby, Colombo Chief Magistrate Lanka Jayaratne told the open court that judges have the ability to decide with an independent mind. The Chief Magistrate, however, said that if any party feels that they have been subjected to prejudice by a judge, she is willing to direct the bail application to another judge. Accordingly, the request was referred to the Colombo Additional Magistrate Priyantha Liyanage. And when the case was taken up before him, President's Counsel Anil Silva said that with the Chief Magistrate remanding his client, he had to endure 14 days of quarantine and that it is considered a punishment. He's requested the court to grant his client bail since the Bail Act has not been violated after his client was remanded. The Deputy Solicitor General then provided a lengthy extrapolation of the case history and said the case should be not considered on the lines whether it's a bailable offence or not, but on the incidents and facts. He told the court that it is a serious ethics violation to label a rival candidate a murderer in a public media briefing 6 days prior to the last presidential election. The Deputy Solicitor General added that the statement given before the Colombo Chief Magistrate by 2 other suspects in the case revealed that Senarathna is the 3rd suspect is fake drama enacted during the media briefing in question. After considering the submissions made by all parties, Additional Magistrate Priyantha Liyanage said that the decision on the bail application submitted on behalf of Senarathna will be delivered on the 10th of June and ordered Senarathna be further remanded until then.
Now, the United National Party has decided to suspend the membership of 102 of its members over submitting nominations from the Samagi Jana Balavega in violation of the party constitution. Party's General Secretary Akhila Viraj Karyavasam says that explanations and appeals of such members pertaining to the matter will be taken up at the upcoming working committee meeting.
General Secretary of the United National Party Akhila Viraj Karyavasam released a statement today under the title pertaining to suspension of membership of those who have violated the party constitution. He says that none of the UNP members who signed nomination papers for the looming election from other political parties have sought written permission of the party working committee. Stressing that this is a clear violation of the party's constitution, Karyavasam says the leadership of the UNP hence decided to take action against the members who have done so. He added that many who signed nominations for other political parties have expressed their regret. UNP General Secretary further stated that the explanations and appeals of such members pertaining to the matter will be taken up at the upcoming meeting of the working committee and necessary actions will be determined. In the meantime, General Secretary of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya Ranjit Madhumu Bandara also released a statement today saying that the UNP, which he says has reduced to mere signage, has taken on the contract to attack the SJB, which has become a challenge to the government. As a result of this, he says that several false stories about several SJB members holding talks to cross over to the UNP were also published in media. He added that it will be evident in the near future which faction will be crossing over.
Now, the maximum retail price set for the sale of rice has been revised following discussions among authorities with effect from midnight. Accordingly, the maximum retail price of a kilogram of nadu is 96 rupees. A kilogram of samba can be sold at a maximum retail price of 98 rupees. Meanwhile, the maximum retail price of a kilogram of kiri samba is 125 rupees. Now, stocks closed 0.62% higher today, pushed by index-heavy stocks John Keells Holdings and Distilleries Company of Sri Lanka, while bond yields eased in moderate trade. The all-share price index closed 19.79 points up at 4,800. The S&P SL 20 index of more liquid stocks closed 17.16 points up at 2,014.36. Now, here's a brief report on today's market performance, followed by a currency update.
For today, market closed on a green with a foreign inflow just after the 12 trading session. And for today market, both indexes are going in the red in the morning with some sort of profit taking in a banking counter. At a part of the day with the crossings in John Keells and HNB, the turnover also rebound, market also rebound, and market close all sharp price index 4,800 and the Standard & Poor's closed at 2,000. For today, the turnover mainly boosted by the John Keells 59% with a 10 crossings and 1 crossing in HNB. For today, we see some sort of retail sort of profit taking in some selective banking counter like commercial bank at HNB, and the latter part of the day the selling was absorbed by the retailers in the market. And we see for this market for the last 12 trading session, it's a market is a climbing on the wall of worry, and we feel in the month end we see some profit taking in selective counters which were moved for last 2 weeks.
We'll see you soon. Bear with us. Welcome back. This is First at 9. Now, the British Health Ministry plans to provide the Ebola drug remdesivir to some COVID-19 patients, as the global trials have proven that it reduces the number of days that takes for patients to recover from COVID-19. What's more, Britain is also trialling a COVID-19 test which gives results in just 20 minutes. Any breakthrough in the coronavirus treatment could not come any sooner, with Brazil reporting over 1,000 deaths during a past day.
Brazil yet again suffered high COVID-19 casualties, with the country confirming 1,027 deaths during the last day. The total number of coronavirus-related deaths in the South American nation stands at 24,549, and the country also has the second highest number of infections, with close to 400,000 confirmed cases. Brazil has continued to take less severe lockdown measures than other Latin American countries. The government has given out guidelines but has not imposed national restrictions. Brazil also has a low testing rate, and a study by the University of Sao Paulo Medical School estimates the number of infections could be as much as 15 times higher than the official figure. Meanwhile, Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro has repeatedly downplayed the virus. He has compared the virus to a little flu and has promoted the use of the unproven drug chloroquine despite warnings that it may be unsafe. In North America, meanwhile, the death toll in the United States surpassed 100,000, with 777 more deaths being confirmed during the past day. Though still high, the fact that the daily deaths is under 1,000 is welcome for the world's largest economy. In the meantime, in Asia, although South Korea is currently experiencing a surge in the number of COVID-19 cases again, most students return to school in the country. Schools open for kindergarten schools, the two lowest grades of elementary school, middle school seniors and second-year high school students in South Korea following the reopening of high schools for seniors on the 20th of May. Teachers with thermometers and hand sanitizers welcome students at school gates, checking each student for signs of fever. Japan, meanwhile, has completely lifted the nationwide emergency imposed following the coronavirus pandemic. The country's Prime Minister warned that the state of emergency can be reimposed if the infection starts spreading rapidly again. In a separate development, the British Health Ministry says that it will provide an antiviral drug remdesivir to certain COVID-19 patients that it is most likely to benefit as part of a collaboration with manufacturer Gilead Sciences. The Department of Health said that early data from clinical trials around the world showed that the drug could shorten the recovery time of COVID-19 patients by 4 days. Furthermore, the US National Institute of Health said last week that data from its trial of remdesivir showed that the drug offers the most benefit for COVID-19 patients who need extra oxygen but do not require mechanical ventilation. Researchers also said that the drug remdesivir would be more effective in combination with other treatments for COVID-19. What's more, trials are underway at a UK hospital for a COVID-19 test that gives results in just 20 minutes and which requires no laboratory, potentially allowing for swifter testing of much larger numbers of people.
And that's it from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.